Yeah, it was a exciting game to start conference play with South Alabama, who have been very successful over the last decade in the conference, and it's exciting to start that way because it gives you a real test to see where you're at within the conference and where you're going to fall. So we fell on the wrong side of the result with a 3-0 loss, but certainly looking at the performance, we were really happy with it. I thought for a lot of the first half, we controlled the game. They had a lot of threats that I thought we were able to prevent from causing us a lot of trouble. They had a good 5-10 minute stint in the first half where we were pinned back and they caused a lot of chaos inside of our box. But I think our young freshman at the back there handled it really well and was able to communicate through it and step up in the end in the big moment. And then they got a goal right before halftime, literally 3 minutes before the half, and that's a kick in the shin. You know, when you want to go into the halftime tied 0-0, gives you some momentum away from home as well, gives you a bit of belief and something to move forward to. So it came at the really wrong time, and I think that kind of deflated us going into the half. It changed our halftime team talk. It changed where we're going in the second half and what we're able to execute with regards to pressing and how we're going to attack. We had to go for the game a little bit more as the game got stretched on because we were down a goal, and that left us a little bit open. And fair play to South Alabama. They scored a good goal off of a set piece. They were tenacious and relentless and pounced on a third opportunity. And then the last one came from us putting numbers forward. So it gave us a chance that on Sunday and this morning as a staff we're able to kind of regroup and analyse that game. And I think that's probably going to be the best thing for us this year. You know, it's good to have an opponent of that level that early on, because now we get to look at ourselves and see where we're at and see who's performing and what areas we need to work on. And we've still got 9 games left of conference, so lots of time to make some improvements. And that will start with this Thursday against Arkansas State, and then another away trip to App State. But certainly it's exciting to be at home on Thursday after having 3 games on the road against Ole Miss, Northwestern State and South Al. That was going to be a test for us as well, and I think we've came out the other side of that a lot more mature, a lot more relentless on certain aspects of the game as well, and certainly more durable as well. So excited to see where we start off on Thursday.
Kind of talked about South Alabama being that opponent that allows you to see where you're at in the rest of the conference, just because of how much of a power they have been over the last couple of years. So after, going back, seeing the film on that game, where do you feel like your team is at? Where do you feel like needs to be improved going into the rest of conference play?
I think we have to be able to find out more ways to get some players in the dangerous areas. So when we transitioned and we got the ball to the right players in the right areas, they were just very isolated. So, looking back at it, I think defensively, South Al, their centre backs and their centre midfielders done a great job of stopping us centrally and forced us out into the wide areas. And at that point, we're just relying on 1v1 opportunities from our attackers. And they executed the first phase of that. The second phase of that is getting numbers in the box and getting opportunities to get clean shots on goal. We had that in the first half. We did not have that in the second half. So we certainly need to figure out ways on where we can step other players up into areas or connect one more opportunity to allow us another phase in the attack to get more numbers in there centrally. And that'll be the challenge for us this week moving into the weekend.
With that in mind, how do you kind of try to focus in on this game and seeing the importance of getting that win, especially after having a couple losses on the road?
Still the same. I think we were looking at it last year and teams made the tournament with 3 wins. That's our goal. Obviously, we want to be as successful as possible, and we're here to try and be a top team in not only our division but the whole conference as a whole. But we certainly know how competitive it is, and taking less teams to the tournament in the last 2 years, it makes it more competitive. There's a lot of teams in our conference right now that have got wins against nationally ranked teams, so we have to be making sure that our goals are ambitious enough for ourselves and for the program, but also realistic in the sense that we're the second game into conference. It would be amazing to get in a win, but it's not essential to get in a win right now. We have to make sure that we're still putting in performances, and if we can stay consistent and still get the opportunities that we've been getting for 8 games, tweak some things on the front and the back end to make sure that we're not making mistakes and we're capitalizing on the other end, I think that's the biggest thing for this weekend. So if we can walk away capitalizing on those moments, then it's a big plus for us.
What do you make of the 2 conference opponents that you're going to be facing this week?
I think, they're both very different styles. Arkansas State, very defensively organized and like to hit on the transition. App State are super athletic. They caused us some trouble last year, which we'll need to adjust for this year, especially at their field on a Sunday. They're very athletic and they've got some real dangerous players in key areas as well. So 2 kind of different opponents, one east side, one west side, and that's kind of what we see from this conference. So it's going to be a challenge for the group to be able to shift their focus on what's important on Thursday's game versus what's important to win the game on Sunday.
And it seems like, just based off the record, your team plays their best ball when they're here in Lafayette.
Is there a point of emphasis when it comes to getting to Thursday and picking up that first conference win against Arkansas State?
No, again, it's still right now. We've still got. We've not even had a conference game at home yet, so it'd be great to get a win. Obviously, the focus is to win every single game, but I don't think we're at a point yet where we have to change the narrative and say, hey, this is paramount to our success this year, that we have to be on the outcome on Thursday. I think we still have to stick to the process and making sure we're doing the right things at the right time, and eventually things will fall as way. If we get half the chances that we've got so far in our non-conference and against South Alabama, if we can just put one or two of them away, that changes it completely. And again, I believe that for Saturday's game against South Alabama, if we don't concede that goal 3 minutes before halftime, I think it's a whole different story going into the second half. And as we saw from a lot of the other games, I think maybe 4 or 5 other games in our conference this year, this opening weekend, finished in a tie, either 0-0 or 1-1. A point in the road at South Alabama on opening night would have been great. So a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas, but it's part of the game and it's what happened. We just now have to react to it and make sure that we don't change our mindset and stop believing in what we believe in just because of our result last Saturday.
You're up for the season. You've outshot your opponents. So the opportunities are there. What's kind of the message to the team on maybe taking advantage of a lot more of those opportunities that you guys are getting?
You know, as it goes on, and the players recognize that as well. They're leaving games, and they're seeing the amount of chances that we're getting against opponents. They're starting to feel the frustrations themselves because they feel responsible that, hey, it's my job. I should be putting that in the back of the net and I should be scoring it. So for us, it's just making sure that the more times we put ourselves in that situation, the more opportunities we give ourselves to capitalize. Yeah, we have to capitalize eventually, but hopefully through the belief in each other and our leadership on the team and us being able to step up and encourage each other in the right moments, one of them is going to go in, we're going to score off a set piece, we're going to score off on a counter attack. So they're definitely coming. They've came in every single game so far. And I think it's just about being patient and making sure we stay level-headed and cool under pressure. And if we can do that and we don't put an unsurmountable amount of pressure on ourselves for this Thursday's game being a home game, I think we'll be good throughout the year. I'm very confident in the group and what we're putting on the pitch right now.